You're listening to the Marne Report.
Well, hey, Fort Stewart-Hunter Army Airfield, Molly here with your latest edition of the Marne Report. And today I am here with my friend, Fire Inspector Matthew Bradshaw from the Fort Stewart-Hunter Army Airfield Fire Emergency Services. Thank you so much for being on the podcast with me today, Matthew.
No problem, Molly. Thanks for having me and our department on.
Awesome. And today we're going to talk all about Fire Prevention Week, and that kicks off on Monday, right?
That is correct. It actually dates back 100 years, just as an FYI, since 1922.
Nice.
Yeah, President Calvin Coolidge implemented that after the fire of Chicago, Great Fire of Chicago.
Oh, awesome.
Yep.
Okay, so then I guess after the Great Fire, he was like, hey, obviously we need to tell people about fire prevention, huh?
Yes, ma'am. It's been the longest running public health observance in our country, as an FYI. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, 100 years. You can look this up on the NFPA, the National Fire Protection Association website.
Cool. So tell me a little bit about what you guys have going on for this year's Fire Prevention Week. Is there a theme?
There is. Thank you for asking that. This year's theme is Fire Won't Wait, Plan Your Escape. This is the theme for 2022. In a nutshell, it is imploring families to create a fire escape plan in their homes, wherever they live at, residential, high-rises, condominiums, wherever.
And what exactly will you guys be doing next week across the installations?
Next week, for the kickoff for Fire Prevention Week, it'll be this Monday, the 10th, coming up. We'll be having an event at both Fort Stewart and Hunter Army Airfield in conjunction with Fort Stewart Family Homes and Hunter Army Family Homes. I know that day is a holiday, so we went ahead and coordinated that so we can get max neighborhood participation.
Sure.
The event will be starting here at 10 here on Fort Stewart, and the event up at Hunter will be starting at noon.
Nice. What's going to happen during that event?
We'll have safety handouts. Sparky will be there. We'll have blow-up houses, music, food, free food.
Free food.
Free swag.
Okay, cool. So, and that's in the housing areas, correct?
That's correct. 50 Austin Road on Fort Stewart.
Okay.
And keep an eye on our Facebook page for the details for Hunter.
Excellent. So what else? I know typically you guys make a big tour across the installation to really spread the message about Fire Prevention Week. So do you guys have anything else happening after the holiday?
That's correct. You can catch us throughout the posts, both posts at the commissary. We'll be at the PX next Tuesday.
Cool.
We'll be at the commissary on that Wednesday. Reading to children at the library on Fort Stewart. We'll be making star-based visits up at Hunter.
Cool.
Sparky will be there. And then also, we'll be holding our 4th annual Fire Prevention Week golf tournament. That will be on the 13th at Taylor's Creek Golf Course.
If someone wants to participate in that golf tournament, do they just register? Can they just show up?
Sure. It's open to anyone with a valid post ID. Registration is that day at 08. Shotgun start is at 09.
Nice.
Again, just keep an eye on our Facebook page for that flyer. Should
Sure.
be pushed out throughout the week.
Awesome. And then you guys are also going to be visiting some of the DODIA schools as well?
That's correct. Sparky and one of our fire inspectors will be conducting the Pledge of Allegiance with each elementary school. We'll be coming through with our operations teams as well, setting up static displays and telling the kids what they do for a living. And Sparky and an inspector will be out reading to children and handing out safety tips as well.
Very cool. Well, I know Fire Prevention Week is very important, but as with all of these, monthly observances, which oddly all seem to fall in the month of October, it's not just about preventing fires during this one week, right? It's to educate the community so they can take all of this information with them throughout their year, the rest of their lives,
yes.
Right?
Yeah. Just as a reminder, we're here as your, there we go, fire department, getting ready to roll out. And we're here for the community, and we're always here. We love being out in the community, although we don't get to do it as much unless we're on calls, but we like to interact. That's part of our job, is just be around and give the on-post community a warm and fuzzy.
Sure.
Let them know that we're here.
Yeah, so here's a question. If one of the schools or if a unit or an FRG wants you guys to come out and, give presentation on
Sure.
fire prevention. Is that something that you guys do?
That is just this year. I think we reopened Station 1 for Friday. We have about 30 kids doing a walkthrough. We used to do that before pandemic times, and we feel good about our sanitary measures and decon stuff to have kids walking through. They usually bring their parents through. It's a good time. Again, we show the kids and the adults what we do on a day-to-day, where we sleep, where we cook, where we watch TV, I guess. Yeah, and then obviously the firefighting stuff.
That's really neat. Okay, so that's good to know. So if someone is interested to come to that, do they just show up? Do they need to call ahead?
You can send us an email. You can find that on our Facebook page.
Sure.
As a request.
Sure. And your Facebook page is it Fort Stewart-Hunter Army Airfield Fire Emergency Services?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay.
Nailed it.
A little bit long, so if you guys are searching for that, that's where you go to find that. Well, this has been fantastic, Matthew. Thank you so much for being on the podcast with me today.
Thanks for having me. I
yeah.
wish it was a bunch of us. We could probably kick out a bunch of safety stuff. We'd all be talking over each other.
Well, we're happy to have you. And is there anything else that you would like to tell the community about Fire Prevention Week or just fire prevention tips? Anything?
I can give a quick tip that always comes up from kids when we go school to school and we're talking to schools. We'll always have a kid that will raise their hand. My bedroom's on the second floor. What do I do? That question kind of puts us on the spot, but I do have an answer today for you. Right? There are emergency escape ladders.
Sure.
And only get them if they've been approved through the NFPA or reputable companies. But when you're using these and you're practicing this stuff inside of your house with your children, make sure that you're starting off at the first floor, showing them how to deploy the ladder. Again, the safety is the biggest thing.
That's actually a great tip because a lot of times bedrooms are upstairs when you have a 2-story home.
Yes.
So, yeah, that's good to know. No Wish.com fire safety ladders, right? You got to get an NFPA approved fire safety ladder.
Don't get Nana to weave you one, out of like broom handles or whatever. Get a certified one. And make sure that you're practicing from the first floor. Make sure your kids know where it's at. Make sure the kids know how to deploy it. Make sure that all of your exits are free inside of your house. Things like if you have a disabled person inside of your house, a baby, anybody mobility impaired, make sure you have a plan for them. Who's going to get them if something's happening inside of your house? And then have a backup person for that. So there's a lot of interesting stuff going on for this Fire Prevention Week. The Fire Won't Wait, Plan Your Escape campaign. Look to our Facebook page for more information.
Sure.
We really appreciate you coming by.
Yeah, of course. Well, that is it for this week's edition of the Marne Report podcast. This is Molly signing off.
It can be hard finding your way in a new place. We've all been there. You arrive to a new duty station. You have no idea where you're going. You aren't sure what school you should send your kids to, and you have no idea why everyone here at Fort Stewart-Hunter Army Airfield keeps saying, Rock of the Marne. Eventually, you and your family might stumble on a few of the answers, but we like to make things as simple as possible for our people, which is why we created the Virtual Newcomers Brief. The app allows you to customize your experience and learn about all of the essential aspects of our installations, from housing to the 3rd Infantry Division history. This is a cost-effective and convenient way for our soldiers, families, and the partner Army civilians to learn about the installation and what is offered. There's absolutely no reason for you to be in the dark. Visit StewartandHunter.com today and learn more. Rock of the Marne, top of the rock.